We are good. How are you?
Good. How are you? It's the
Good.
month of love. Are you excited about that?
I am. Actually, I have a challenge for the month of Feb. I'll be sharing the details tomorrow. I'm sure you'll love it. It's going to be exciting just for us to focus on loving ourselves, just to, it's okay to be loved and to love others, but this month, let's focus on loving us first because we come
Yeah.
first. Mm,
I have this saying in my life, living and loving, and that involves me first. Like before loving others, you can't love others if you don't love yourself.
mhm.
So it has to basically start with you.
Very true.
Self-love. Yes. Mm.
Love yourself, have that positive energy around you, and then in the as you go along that journey, you realize that it's going to your loved ones. They're starting to see, oh, Joy, nowadays you're really happy, and there's that. You just spread it around. So
No, I'm always happy. I'm always happy. Regardless of the month, I'm always happy. It's just that February, I'm just more loving. It's like the month captures my heart more.
mhm.
So I embrace the whole Valentine thing, and it becomes part of me the whole month. So yeah, it's quite exciting.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And for me, I love that the beginning of this month has
Mm-hmm.
started with tips on how we can actually make 2023 a great year.
Mm,
Because what better way than making a great year starting with the month of love, of loving ourselves and loving the ones we love,
very
you
true.
know? Yeah, so I feel that our topic for today is aligning well with what we want to do this 2023. I don't know about you because I already have the version of this is 20, 2023 is the year of Jordan. Michael Jordan is number 23, the
Mm-hmm.
basketballer,
Yeah.
and he's fast and he's energetic. So I'm like kind of feeling that vibe of Michael Jordan. So I'm like, this is the year of Michael Jordan. I don't know about you. I would want to know your opinion about our topic today and how it aligns with this year.
Well, the topic of today is really important. And if you can recall back towards the end of last year, I did this webinar on goal setting. And the reason why I did that was because how do we plan for the coming year? How do we do that? If like a farmer does, he just doesn't show up and go and put seeds and wait for the crops to come up. No, the farmer has to prepare. He has to know the seasons. He has to know, to prepare the land, get the manure, maybe dig, prepare the land and all that before he does the planting and all that. So for me, I feel like being the month this 2023, I think my internet is a bit shaky. Let me just fix that. Okay.
Yeah, it keeps freezing. Like you keep freezing, and I just see your face there in one place.
Let's hope it behaves. So, as I was saying, being the month of love and forming these tips, they come hand in hand, as you've said, because once we take care of ourselves, we are able to take care of other people. How else to do that other than loving ourselves, taking care of ourselves, looking after what does Jenny want? And once I figure out what Jenny wants, what is my plan or my goals for 2023, then I love myself more. I start feeling happy because I'm achieving that. And in return, Coach Joy will start telling me, girl, nowadays you look good. What's happening in your life? And I'll be like, you have no idea. It's a story for another day. So for me, I feel like this topic has just come at the right time.
And just hearing you say that it's the farmers plan. Like for me, I feel everyone plans. They don't even know. Like, plan when you tell someone you should plan your life or you should plan your day, people
Mm,
think you have to write down, people think you have to journal everything. But when I give an example of a mother, when you're like expecting a first child or you're expecting a child, I could say, you don't even know how you plan. You just find yourself 1 minute you're in the shop and you're buying blankets for the baby. Another minute, even when you've not written them down, you find
Yeah.
yourself buying the clothes. You find yourself buying all these little things the baby needs. But in the long run, you go and you write down the things you need for the baby and you start ticking them off. You get, and you didn't even plan to buy
Mm,
these things in the first place, but you found yourself buying them,
yeah.
meaning your mindset, just like we are mindset CEOs, right? Your
Yeah.
mindset was already preparing you for that because it's going to happen. You're going to have a baby,
Mm,
and you didn't even know. Whereas there is this other plan B person who
mm,
always plans everything. She has her list of the clothes the baby needs. She has all these little things that a child needs.
yeah.
And what difference is it from you and the person who didn't even plan but got everything ready? So I feel we can all plan differently. Some people don't want to write what they want to do, and
Mm-hmm.
some people like me, I want to write down each and everything so that I feel I've ticked everything off my list.
Uh-huh.
So how you do it, as long as you do it. I don't know what you think about that.
As long it doesn't matter what route you take, you can use a bicycle, you can use a motorbike, you can use a car, you can use a plane, you can use a train. As long as you know the destination you're going, you'll get there. Some people they opt to go via plane, which is quicker. Others decide to go via water, which takes months or a month. So it depends with your space. How much time do you have? How quick do you want to go there? That's how we determine the means of transport that we use to get to our destination.
That's very true. And
Mm.
so that's why for me, I'm really, really excited about our topic for today. And if anyone is just jumping in or you're just watching a replay, I'll just introduce myself briefly. My name is Joyceloyk, a Dare to Blow coach. Like you can see in my shirt, I dare you to glow so that you become a better version of yourself, purposefully and powerfully. So, confidence coach, NLP practitioner, and currently undergoing some more evaluation in my life. You have to keep evaluating
Yeah.
yourself as a person. And that's
Mm.
why we're talking about even self-care. You have to keep taking care of your mind. You have to take care of your body. So
Mm-hmm.
currently, I'm also taking care of my mind by going through a training. But yeah, that is briefly about myself. I can't go so much into details. I'll give to Coach Jay to introduce herself so that we go ahead with our topic for today.
Okay, thank you for that. I always say when I'm told to introduce myself, I can do a whole chapter or a whole book because the the further I've come, man, there are a lot of stories to write. Beautiful stories, learning lessons, and all that. But just to keep it short and brief, my name is Jane Jogu. I am a transformation mindset coach. I work with people who are struggling with existing beliefs, thinking patterns, and they're just looking for that clarity to find the right direction. Other than that, I'm happy to be here. I love focusing on the mindset because with everything we do, it all starts with our mindset. Whatever we want, even the goals as we're talking about, even loving ourselves, it's all about the mindset. And once we fine tune our mindset, just like a screw that is a bit loose, when you tighten it, things start changing in our lives. And that's why mindset is very, very important in our lives. Back to you.
Yes. And like I said before, we are Mindset CEOs. We have a group on Facebook
Mhm.
that we started for anyone who believes they're a CEO of their life. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter where you come from. We strongly believe the reason why we came up with this platform, we strongly believe every one of us is a CEO of their lives because you just managing your life is already a job itself. So that's why we are strong believers that we are all CEOs of our lives. And if you believe you are a CEO of your life, you are welcome to join our group so that you can also improve your mindset.
Yeah.
And I think I'll go straight to my first point for today regarding tips to make 2023 a great year. For me, making 2023 a great year comes with surrounding myself with supportive and loving people.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh.
a very loving person. I can't even brag about that. Like if I love you, I love you, you know. I can
Mm,
go the limit. I can go, I can go, what do they call it? I can jump the cliff for you, you know. And we all need to be loved and to be nurtured. That
mm-hmm.
that that is all I can say. But at the end of the day, every time we are around people that love us, every time we are around people that support us,
Yeah.
even when we feel like we are giving up, we get lifted up because
Mm,
these people don't want us to fail. So for me, one of my tips for this year for anyone out there is make sure you surround yourself with people who are supportive of your dreams, of your goals, of everything that you want to achieve, and eliminate or spend less time with those people who do not align with what you want or what you want to become,
mm-hmm.
especially people who are negative, people who want to push you back, like who want to just bring you back or who want you to stay in the same place.
Mm,
Because the person I was last month is not the same person I am this month. I'm a
mm.
completely different person, or I'm a better version of myself, you know? And before ending this point, I would say only compete with yourself, you know? Sometimes we are surrounded by people who love us, and we find ourselves in competition with them or them in competition with us. Just a reminder, only compete with yourself because that's the only way you can become a better version of yourself. I think that's my point. Back to you, Coach Jen.
That's a beautiful, beautiful point considering we're talking about love, the month of love, and it's a great reminder to love ourselves. That's really remarkable. And just one moment. What I can say is, for me, I would say yesterday, actually, you've made a very important point about the space we have. And yesterday, I attended a webinar where they were talking about the challenge is for you to go on your social platforms and remove 10 people that you feel they're always feeding you with negative vibe. You just create a space that you and start with 10 people just for you to create that space. Because if this person is constantly always posting negativity that is affecting your space, then you have the right, you have the control to go and remove them. So that was a very beautiful point. And it doesn't have to be on social media, anywhere. Is it your circle of friends? Is there people you need to cut out? People that are constantly draining you? You have to deal with that. So my first point is on goal setting, and not just goal setting. You're talking about clear goal setting. And why do I say clear goal setting? We all live in a house, and for a house to stand there has to be a foundation. And that's why I equate that clear goal setting with setting a foundation. Why do I say that? With a foundation, Burj Khalifa is able to stand because it has a strong foundation. The house is able to stand because you have a strong foundation. Insects, there are so many insects out there, but they don't get in the house because the foundation has protected you from that. So by you forming clear goals, and with clear goals, I'm talking about setting smart goals. They have to be specific, realistic, measurable, all that, time bound, and all that. Once you do that, number one, Coach Joyceloyk is a confidence coach. She will tell you, you build your confidence because you know where you're going. You know your journey. You're not going on a road trip. You know that your journey starts from, I'm starting from wherever I am, from this point, and I want to get to this point, and this is what I need. So you're building the foundation for you to get there. And once you do that, your confidence is up. Other than that, you're able to hit your objectives faster. Why do I say that? You are clear on that path. Like we were talking before, you want to go to America. Which route are you going to use? Of course, you cannot use a train to get there. So you have to use a plane. You choose the medium that you need for you to get to your goals. And when you're setting these clear goals, and you define exactly what you want. Don't just say, well, I want to increase my knowledge. How do you want to increase your knowledge? Well, I'm planning to read a physical book. How will I get this physical book? I need to buy the book. Okay, I will budget for this. So that goes into your finances, you plan for that. And then the end of the month, in a month or two, you buy the book. And again, which book do you want to read? You're clear and you know what you want. And when we do that at the end of 2023, I promise you, you will look back and say, damn, I didn't know I can do that. And you'll be so proud of yourself. You'll be super proud of yourself. Back to you.
Yeah, that's very true. Actually, when you mentioned that, I I remembered an incident when I was told to make an art piece, and I
Mm-hmm.
was given different materials. I was given paint. I was given also the raw materials like beads, like different nice things that I could use,
Mm-hmm.
real life things to make a
Mm-hmm.
desert. Either I paint the desert or I use these things to make the desert.
Uh-huh.
I looked at these things and I had to first make a plan because everything comes with a plan.
Mm.
Otherwise, if I just say desert, okay, get sand because there was also sand and throw it in there. Then what is going to happen? I
Mm.
had to make a plan and ask myself, what
Mm.
lives in the desert? Okay, camel. Which other animal? There are some there are some snakes. There's plants. There's cactus. Then I'm like,
Mm.
okay, how do I want to structure this? What is in the desert? Sun. I want to have a sun up. I want to have a camel.
Mm.
Like the structure comes through only after you have a plan. When you don't have a plan, you cannot structure anything. I just
Yes.
wanted to say that.
And that's why before
Anyway,
that's
yes,
why before construction, we have to get in the architect and the engineers for them to give us an idea, a mental map of the structure we are going to have. So when we have goals without that mental map, I feel like we are failing ourselves because we are not taking it serious. We are not getting serious that we want to achieve this. You want to construct a house, get that mental map, and then what happens? You start constructing the house. The same thing with your goals. You want to lose weight. How much weight do you want to lose? Start from there, and you'll see the journey starts becoming easier for you. Now, over to you.
that's very true. Not I want to lose 50 kilograms and that's it. What after losing them, then what?
What happens?
Yeah. So my next point is going to be break your chronicle patterns and bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
And my question first is going to be, what are your patterns or habits that you want to change this year? What are those things you want to change this year? Is it overreacting? Is it overthinking? Is it overdoing? Is it the people pleasing kind of behavior where when they say something, you're the yes, 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 everything you are a yes person and you never have a time or to take time to think whether you're ready for that kind of decision or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just a question for you to sit back and ask yourself, what are those patterns or habits that you want to change this year? Because when you look at you making 2023 a great year, it cannot become a great year unless you look at some of those habits that you have that need change.
Mm-hmm.
Have a honest talk to yourself. Honestly, talk to yourself honestly. You don't have to get a coach. You don't have to get me as a coach. You don't have to get Coach Jay. You don't have to look for a coach. Before you get a coach, sit down, look at yourself in the mirror if possible. You'll be two people, you and the person in the mirror. That will still be you anyway. So have a honest conversation with yourself and ask yourself that question. What are the patterns I want to change to become better? You
Mm-hmm.
know, is it the constant saying I'm going to do something and then you don't do it? You know, and what will it really take for you to break that pattern or reduce on the frequency of those patterns? So that is basically you finding a solution. And if that solution requires you getting a coach, that's why you're like, okay, I think I overstress about things I'm not supposed to stress about. Can I stop it or I need a coach to guide me? And that's why you're like, okay, let me get Coach J to help me find ways I can become better at thinking other than overthinking things, because sometimes we overthink things and they lead us into being how do you call it, burnout. You get burnt out
Stress
because
and
you're
burn.
overthinking. Yes, because you're overthinking things that are unnecessary. So
Mm.
I feel breaking the chronicle bad habits could help you make 2023 a great year. Back to you, Coach Jay.
That's wonderful. Actually, when we break all those bad habits, that's when we start creating even more space for healthier habits for ourselves. So those questions you've raised, they're really nice for us to ponder, just to take a minute and listen to ourselves. And the point you raised about talking to ourselves in the mirror, it is something that I do a lot. Whenever I feel like I'm faced with a hard situation, I go in the mirror. So there's Jane on this side, and then on the mirror is a Jane who has conquered that situation. So I ask that Jane, what have you done to get there? And at that moment, funny enough, I start getting answers to myself and I start seeing how I can tackle that situation. And at first it sounds weird, it looks weird, but the more you do it, the
It
more,
does.
the more it
Makes
starts
you
to.
feel like a weirdo.
Yeah, but sometimes even let's say for example public speaking, if you have phobia for public speaking, we are always told to stand in front of the mirror and speak. And that way you're starting to learn slowly by slowly and gaining that confidence. Now, my next point is on mind and body investment. And the reason why I say that mind and body investment is it came from an NLP presupposition where they said mind and body are part of the same system. And when we look at most scenarios, or some of the scenarios, when you think about it, your lower body wants to go to the gym. You're like, I really want to lose weight. I really want to do this. But your mind tells you no. So what happens? You end up maybe not going to the gym, or you end up maybe not tackling that situation. So when we accept or acknowledge that mind and body are part of the same system, when you invest on your body, when you work so hard to go and pay for the gym, you invest in the food, you invest in, being healthy, remember to invest in your upper part as well. Because if your mind does not align with what the body wants, there is that the road is going on separate roads. You start going east and west, and you find you're stretching yourself so much that one side will end up losing. But the moment you realize that the two are supposed to work together, you start investing in your mind, you start investing in your body, that coordination comes, and you start going in a straight line. And again, stress and burnout, they're out of the vocabulary for you, because now you're not stretching yourself, you're moving in one direction, you're moving in one path. Over to you.
I'm glad you talked about the presupposition because I realize most cases the body is not interested and the mind is somewhere else. The mind is somewhere else, the body is not interested.
Mhm.
Like, you know what? I want to go downstairs and buy myself a sandwich. But I'm
Uh-huh.
feeling lazy. Before you know it, you sleep off hungry, But
Mhm.
whose fault is it? Was it the body or the mind? Back to my next point. My next point is setting intentions.
Mhm.
In everything we do in life, we have to set intentions.
Mhm.
What is your intention for doing what you're doing? You know, that is
Mhm.
another question you could look at yourself in the mirror and say, why am I doing this? Ask that person in the mirror, which is yourself. For me, when I hear people saying, "Oh my God, she's weird. How can she talk to herself in the mirror?" That is how I built my confidence. That's how I became a confidence coach, talking to myself in the mirror, because it made me realize I can be me here, but I also have another person who can have my back.
Mhm.
For me, that's how I look at it. The person in the mirror is the person having my back and will never let me down. So me telling that person in the mirror anything that hurts me, you know what, I had a bad day. And then that person in the mirror is just looking at me. What is it telling me? That you know what, you went through a bad day, but you can still go through that day and go
Mhm.
to another day.
Exactly.
And because I'm also a very positive person, I'm also like, okay, I went through a bad day, but you know what? There were some things that happened, some good things that happened through that day also. So there is balance because life is about balance anyway.
Yeah.
So setting intentions. Another effective way for you to be able to hit that 2023 great year is by setting intentions, by using the word I choose. I
Mhm.
choose to create great relationships. I choose to look good. I choose to smell good. What are you going to do about it? You're going to make sure you get a deodorant. You're going to
Mhm.
make sure you're sensitive to yourself. Am I smelling good before I step out and meet other people?
Mm-hmm.
Set in That is a way of setting intention. It starts with the word I choose, because at the end of the day, you are choosing yourself. And what does that lead to? Because intending to achieve anything in life or to get any outcome, you have
Mm-hmm.
to start with knowing exactly what you want as you. Every year, and I think I used to be that kind of a person, and maybe sometimes I do that. Every year we make resolutions. I'm sure a lot of people make New Year resolution. You know what? I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm not going to put words to them, but I want to achieve this and that and that.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it seems like a lot of people do not follow through. Why? Because of the intention. At that point of time, I want to make resolutions because Coach J is making resolutions. She's saying she's going to do this and this and this. Even me, I'm going to do this and this and this and this. Coach J has a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Coach J is willing to break through all those chronic bad habits. Are you willing to do that? Yes or no? Maybe you are not. You're doing it because she is doing it. So my main point when I say set intentions is make sure when you say and you phrase the word I choose, you're actually going to go through with it, not just saying it. Because at the end of the day, we can say a lot of things. I can say I want to lose 50 kgs and keep eating my junk food, keep sitting on the couch, and I never go to the gym. But I said it. I told Coach J, I
Mm-hmm.
want, or I choose. So when you're using the word I intend or I choose to do this, make
Mm-hmm.
sure you have intentions to actually do it. Back to you, Coach Jen.
That's really, really interesting. And the last point you made, when we say we want, that's wishful thinking. We all want great things. We all want to be happy. We want to have a luxurious life. We want to have, we want to have a lot of things. But what happens between those who get what they want is what I was discussing yesterday in the after interview. Actions, just taking actions, having those intentions and taking actions makes a very big difference for everyone. My next point is on curiosity. Now, we all know that curiosity killed the cat. However, in this scenario, I want to bring it this way. With curiosity, you make your mind active. And by being active, you start asking questions. Remember, there's no right or wrong question. As long as you're asking it genuinely, I really don't know. Like, sorry, I really don't know. So I'm asking it genuinely. Asking questions helps build us by learning new things. And once you become curious to start learning new things, we are growing whether we know it or not, or whether we observe or not, or whether we experience, we are growing because the knowledge you get makes you a better person than the person you were that second ago or a minute ago. So our minds, when we are active with curiosity, it's like continual exercise for the mind. It's like a mental exercise you're giving the mind. So the mind keeps getting stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger, and by the time you notice it, by the end of 2023, you are very different. And how do we become curious, or how do we make that mental exercise? Number one, read books. What books are you reading, and what knowledge are you getting from there? Because through books, knowledge from other people, it builds your mental muscle. Number two, surround yourself with people who challenge you. And that's another thing that I picked up along the way that has really worked for me. When you surround yourself with people who have achieved what you want, you are learning from them. And I think for Jay, there's a statement that says, "Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are." And the challenge I have for anyone watching us now, or for anyone who's going to be watching the replay, have a sit down and ask yourself, who are the top 5 people I talk to on the day in a day? What value do these 5 people add in my life? Am I growing? Is there any growth? Or am I just draining myself 24/7? Because once we learn how to grow, once we learn to take care about our mental mind, our mental exercise, we get to improve on a daily basis. And then the other thing I can say is, apart from reading books, surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, the other thing is challenge yourself to grow. Take up the challenges. It doesn't just happen overnight. Sometimes you just have to challenge yourself and tell yourself, I'm going to do this. and you set yourself with the deadline, do it. No matter what happens, you will learn in the process. Remember, there's no failure. There's never failure. It's just learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. And once you have that mentality, you live with intention, as Coach Joy has said, you at the end of 2023 you'll be smiling, you'll be sitting down and telling yourself, I did a good job in 2023. Now 2024 will be better because I learned from 2023. And the cycle continues and continues and continues, because all the great millionaires, all the great billionaires, all the great people we know, they started from somewhere. They were not born there. It's because they set the intention, they planned, they had their clear goals, they were active, they were taking actions to get there. And yeah, that will be my point. Curiosity will get us where we want to be. Will get us the honey.
I have a version of curiosity killed a cat. I always say curiosity killed the cat because it was a bad cat. What was it about? Like, it drank milk. The milk had poison. It was meant for the rat. Anyway, so I'm glad you talked about action because the book that has been published, we are actually officially authors, guys. If you don't know that, we are officially authors, and we are going to share the link for you to be able to get into the platform. Both our platforms, I'm going to share on my YouTube channel, and Coach Jo will also share on her YouTube channel. We'll also share the link in our Mindset CEO. You can click the link, and you can download the book. It's free. It's free of charge. It's under the Coaching Minds. We had a summit, and this ebook is really amazing for you to be able to experience what it means to be successful. And the other thing is to head if you're on the journey to become successful. Coach Jay's chapter is about thinking beyond the box, and my chapter is about success is an action, because there is no success. You're not going to achieve anything in your life if you don't put effort to it. So there are lots of chapters that you'll be reading. It's a book that was basically compiled with 14 authors. So there's a lot of knowledge for you to learn to actually make even 2023 an amazing year for you. And before I say my last point, I would like to say I'm excited for what is coming. But before I get excited what is coming, I'm also working towards what is coming, because that's the only way we can get what we want in life. And yes, before I also forget, I want to say congratulations to Coach Jay. She did her test for the EMCC, and yeah, I'm excited for her. We are all here. We are here to cheer each other up, right?
So,
and I like what you say. Show me your friends, and I show you what who you are.
Now I'm saying it's the ethics exam, not the whole course. I'm still doing that.
Of course, but you're there, girl. Like you're halfway the journey. For me, that is exciting.
Yeah.
And you're the one who always says, clap for yourself for those small wins. This is when you should go hard clap for yourself.
Just to celebrate.
Yeah. I know. So before I go to my last point, also I would like to say, once you open your life to possibilities, you will find that you often become surprised on how life supports and transforms you beyond what you think, because life can only give you what you want if, first of all, put action to it, and if you believe that there are possibilities of it happening. Otherwise, my last point is going to be, do not buy into the belief that your life is set. Your life is not set. It was not just thrown down to you. It was given to you. So your life is not set. Get creative. Be open to new and effective ways to make your life better. Those were my tips for today on how to make 2023 great for myself and for you. But if it's okay with you, you could actually share with us your what you plan on making 2023 a great year for you, so that we can also learn something, and not forgetting, we always want to learn from each other. Learning never stops. We are students of life, right, Coach Jay?
Very true.
Back to
Who is
you.
lying? Yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to add on, Coach Jay?
My final words will be change starts with the mindset. And no matter if you've never set goals before, there's always a starting point, you know. There's always somewhere you can start. You can start even today. You decide, like, you know what, 2023, I have to enter in organized. It's good. Okay, some people say it's good to things to happen out of the blues, but if you really want to achieve something, you have to plan for it. If you want to travel, you have to save. So it's the same thing. If you want to achieve something in 2023, have a clear blueprint of what you want and how do you plan to get there? What resources do I need to get there? That way, you will not be found off guard with life. And that way, the other thing that I noticed, Coach Joy, is that once you have that blueprint, you will start realizing opportunities that are hidden somewhere. You know, you'll start realizing those things that maybe in another time you'll never have noticed them, but the moment you start writing down what you want, how you want to get there, when you want to get there, again you start realizing, you become resourceful and you start realizing all these opportunities that you never knew existed. Because sometimes we are moving from one country to the other seeking for opportunities when the opportunity you're looking for is just seated right next to you. I'm sure at one point you've been looking for a phone, and the phone that you're holding is the phone you're looking for, and you've searched the whole house. You know, it
No,
happens.
a good example is keys, just keys.
Have you seen my keys? Have you seen?
Yeah,
And
I
they're
have them, but I'm looking for them.
yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is here, but we are going so far. We just want to run. I don't know where we always want to run, but the moment you start doing that analysis, that detective work, we will start realizing that so it's just here. I don't even have to go far. It's just here. So those would be my final words. Thank you everyone for joining us. Back to you, Coach Joy.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Coach Jay. I would like to say, for everyone who has tuned in today, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We're supposed to have our guest today, Coach Rahma, but she did not make it. I don't know if I think difficulties in the internet or something, technology. You know how it can happen, but we hope to have her another time. Otherwise, it was lovely having everyone. We see so many, exactly what I needed today. I see a comment here. I can't see the name though. And I'm glad we've impacted your life. This is what we are all about. Just like Coach just said, it's all about changing mindset and daring you to become the better version of yourself. Otherwise, if you're watching the replay, do not forget to leave us a comment on what you think 2023 could make a great year for you and for us here, and for anyone out there who's watching. Otherwise, that is it for today.
Yeah.
Stay
Thank
safe and stay blessed.
you.